Good Monday morning from the office, 8:01 here on the East Coast. I'm your host, BKP. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. If you would like to contact the show, that is 706-889-9700, chief@fetchernews.com, and there are all the social media ways to follow us and keep up with us. You know, I'm wondering, since I could probably wash it in the interim to keep it fresh, but I wonder if I should wear my Festivus sweater, the 28 days of Festivus, just like every day until Christmas. I have my Festivus sweater. I wonder if I should, the 28 days of Festivus. Festivus for the rest of us. The airing of the grievances. You know, I do wish that just one day, my hope for them, you know, Mama said, pray, I guess, for the enemy or the people that don't like you. Pray for them. Oh. I guess my one wish is that the people over at MSNBC and CNN could wake up happy. It's getting that time of the year. Just be happy for a day. Don't hate Donald for a day. Hashtag MSNBC, CNN, don't hate Donald for a day. Just a day. I mean, I'm not saying he's perfect. He's just a man. He has flaws. He makes mistakes. There's things he should do, things he shouldn't do. There's times maybe he should tweet, maybe times he shouldn't tweet. Maybe he gets his Twitter all up in a pinch every once in a while. Just saying. But be nice to Donald Day. Just one day. That's all I ask. These people are ruthless, they're nasty, they're ugly. I mean, they do not report the news. It's really bad. Anyhow, that being said, 8:03 this Monday morning, it's time now for basketball. High school basketball is going on, wrestling. So that'll be at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock on Instant Replay, Dave Garner's Instant Replay. Now, we do have an update for those of you that are interested. We have an update or some information concerning the Gilmer County High School football coach. A lot of people are interested in what's going on there. We have a couple things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that great season from the Pickens Dragons. Again, that's at 10 o'clock. Now, okay, so Thursday is Thanksgiving. Friday is Black Friday, is where everybody goes crazy and goes to the store. I'm going to clean my room. I'm going to get up and clean my room. I've made decisions this morning. What am I going to do Friday? I'm going to clean my room. I'm going to get up, clean the old reading room and the desk and everything, get everything cleaned up, prepare for winter. Yes, prepare for winter. So Thursday, Thanksgiving, what will you be doing? I'm going to try to bring the tone of the show down just a notch or two. I don't want it to be all in an uproar, everybody all in an uproar going into Thanksgiving. I mean, it's going to be bad enough, you know, your gay relatives are going to visit, your straight relatives are going to visit, your trans relatives are going to visit, and somebody's going to come out at the dinner table. You're going to be sitting there, there's 18 people at the dinner table, and somebody's just going to say, I'm gay. Why should I add to that stress you're going to be going through? I mean, you never know what will happen. It's Thanksgiving, right? I'm getting married. Oh, that's great. Grandma to who? To him. Now, I'm just saying. So we're going to try to bring it. I'm just saying. I mean, there's all kinds of great things that happen. Everybody gets all stressed out. The turkey, did you like the turkey? You didn't like the turkey? Did you fry the turkey? Hey, we're going to try to bring it down here, okay? Then who are you going shopping with Friday? Who are you going to elbow over a pair of socks? All this is going on this week. I can't wait, all right? So, and it'll be front page news, right? So, number one here. Georgia has a governor-elect. It is official, done in the books. And that is the governor-elect of the state of Georgia, Republican Brian Kemp. Now, let's just keep in mind, first of all, Brian Kemp is the first lifetime Republican governor in the state of Georgia. Yes. Sonny Perdue was a Democrat, switched his registration to Republican. Oh, I cringe. I got to tell you something. Well, we'll get into it in a minute. So I'll get into it later in the show. So Brian Kemp, here's my hope. Okay, Nathan Deal, we'll get into that later too. But I'm going to look at the camera and I'm going to say, Governor-elect Brian Kemp, you sat right here in this studio in LJ, Georgia. You and I sat 2 feet from each other. And I talked to you for 25 minutes one day right here on camera. And you have been on this show so many times. So we want to thank you. Now, I want to say a personal thank you from our organization, FYNTV.com. And I want to thank you on behalf of all of North Georgia. You did visit. You came up here. You did an interview, which I was able to put out that said, hey, I'm interested in the viewers and the people in North Georgia. But many times I asked you, and I'll never forget, okay, and I have the video. I was concerned when he was running in the primary, okay? That primary Kemp, let's call him primary Kemp for a minute. That primary Kemp would become moderate Kemp in the general. And I do understand, and I do understand this, and when I speak to House Speaker David Ralston and many in some of these positions, I do understand that we are all one Georgia. I mean, we are Atlanta. Atlanta is, there you go, capital of Georgia, one of the largest cities in the United States. We are. We are Savannah. We are Columbus. We are Macon. We are Valdosta. We are LaGrange, okay? We are Gwinnett County, Athens. We are Blue Ridge. We are one Georgia, period, okay? And I understand that. And I understand he has to be the governor of the people sitting in traffic this morning in Sandy Springs. And he has to be the governor of people coming up Highway 5 to come into Blue Ridge to work. All of that being said, I thoroughly understand that it requires a balance, unlike is understood sometimes in some parts of the state. But I was wondering, would he be the moderate and would he shift in the general election to a point that we in rural Georgia would not recognize him as the same Brian Kemp in the primary? I have a video of that. He came on the show the week after he won the primary, and I asked him, I said, you're now the Republican candidate for governor. Will you be the same? Will we see the same candidate? He said, absolutely. I will say, when I say for the most part, don't get nervous here, I will say for the most part, in the general election, he maintained being Brian Kemp. Just maintained it. The Brian Kemp you met throughout the campaign, he maintained that through the primary, okay, through the general election. I hope today, Governor-elect Brian Kemp, you will maintain every bit of that as governor of Georgia. Okay, I hope that you will. So we wish him well. He is starting his transition team. He is not being considered the legitimate governor of Georgia by many today. Hollywood has threatened a boycott. Yeah, Hollywood's threatened a boycott. They don't want the tax breaks. Well, we know we got the tax breaks, but they've threatened to boycott Georgia. All right, so Stacey Abrams said Brian Kemp is the legal governor-elect of Georgia, not legitimate. He's not legitimate. He's legally, okay? So anyhow, that he's working on his transition team. We're going to hear more today on who all's on the team, what he's got in front of him, because he has a $26 million budget, Georgia state budget, that he has to start working on right after inauguration in January, okay? So now let's go to number 2. Michael Strahan's sister, okay? So Michael Strahan's sister, Stacey Abrams for governor there. She has she did not. She's wearing her purple. She is pulling right out of the playbook of Hillary Clinton. Okay. Hillary wore her purple suit today, right? Yeah, Hillary, go back and look the day that, when Hillary sobered up and came out and finally conceded that, well, didn't concede, said that, Donald Trump has become the legal president of the United States, not legitimate. And so for how many years now? For 2 years, we've been told that that Hillary Clinton is the president by popular vote. But Donald Trump stole the election, and he's not a legitimate president. So following in the Hillary Clinton footsteps, you see the purple there. She comes out 2 weeks later after failed lawsuits, wanting a do-over. And somebody, there's people that know the details, but somebody said, Stacey, you've proven yourself, and this is true, you've proven yourself as a statewide candidate. She did do that. You've proven yourself that you're a better candidate than a Michelle Nunn and a Jason Carter and what the Democrats, you're a better candidate, and you can run a better campaign than the Democrats of the past that we thought stood a chance. This is true, okay? Very true. We know that you know how to steal the election when needed or attempt to steal the election when needed, okay? Jason Carter did not. Michelle Nunn did not. They did not have the political machine in place. They were not, their game plan was never to steal it. It was just to run for office. Abrams' game plan all along was to get close enough that if she could get in striking distance, she could have everything in place to steal the election. And she attempted to steal the election, and she could not. You need to know Brian Kemp won by a larger margin. All right? So she has her purple on there, and she is not going to, concede. She's going to accept that Brian Kemp is the legal governor of Georgia, not the legitimate. But she's going to campaign again, all right? And Georgia better be careful because she's going to campaign again. And all sources lead to she's going to run against this guy, number 3. And that's right, David Perdue. And there is Senator David Perdue with his Make America Great Again hat, all right? And our understanding is, and here is number 4, this is the senator, actually, number 4, Senator David Perdue. And odds are she's going to run against Senator David Perdue in the 2020. She will be a strong candidate. She will be somebody that will take Perdue on head on. And you just don't know. But if she does. So this is some of the things going on in Georgia that are happening. All right. Now let's get down to Florida for a little bit. Here's number 5. Okay, there's the governor-elect of Florida, Ron DeSantis. By the way, before we move too fast past Brian Kemp had a visit from none other than Donald Trump, okay, here in Georgia, the Saturday before the election, okay? So Donald Trump helped Brian Kemp win that election. Now here's Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, of the governor, the next governor here of Florida. Now, Florida is an interesting situation because there's a race that nobody talks about in Florida. No, MSNBC, CNN, nobody talks about it. Here's Ron DeSantis. He won with the president there, and he is the next governor of Florida. So the Florida has rejected number 6, Andrew, the corrupt mayor from Tallahassee, allegedly corrupt mayor from Tallahassee, Florida. Andrew Gillum's social policies have been turned down in a big way in Florida. He has conceded twice. Okay, now he learned his lesson. I don't know if he'll be able to run for office again because the Democrats are very upset that he conceded the first time, but they may let him run again. Watch out for this guy in the future. Then let's go to number 7. Okay. Bill Nelson, right? Bill Nelson or Ben, whatever the hell. Nelson, Senator of Florida. Was elected in 2000, 18 years. 18 years just in the Senate. 40 years in politics, 18 of them in the Senate. Time to go. Now, he was finally he conceded to number 8 here, Rick Scott, former governor of Florida. Rick Scott, which will be now the senator from Florida, Republican. And after the hand recount, what's her name? Carla, what's the lady down there in the county down there in Florida? Anyhow, Broward County, Florida. I'll figure it out in a minute. She is resigning after the hand count continued to dwindle down to he only won by 10,000. All right. You got to understand, if my memory's right, he had what, 12,000 plus 2 days ago, right? Now he's down to 10. They found 2 more thousand votes for Nelson somewhere. So Scott, Nelson's been rejected, all right? Rejected, all right? So before we take our break, I want you to look at this one right here, number 16. Number 16. And let me pull up the picture, the article here. You know who that is? That's Democrat Nikki Fried. F-R-I, yeah, Nikki Fried. Declared victory after recount in close race for Florida Agricultural Commission. Now, Candace brought this up on the All-Star panel Friday. And nobody paid attention to this race at all. And the Democrats did not want you to know too much about it. And there was so much emphasis put on, DeSantis, Rick Scott, and Bill Nelson and Andrew Gilliam, the governor in the Senate race, that this agriculture commissioner race just went under the radar for everybody. Nobody highlighted this. And this is a race that should have been paid attention to very closely in Florida. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Candace told you on Friday on the show, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I know what you may be thinking if you're a viewer here in Georgia, and you say, well, the ag commissioner's Gary Black in Georgia and Florida. What's the big deal? It's the ag commissioner. Okay? Democrat Nikki Fried declares victory after recount in close race for Florida Agriculture Commissioner. Nikki Fried appears to have narrowly won election to become the next Commissioner of Agriculture in Florida, making her the only statewide elected Democrat in office when she takes over the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services in January. Broward County Public Defender and listen, Broward County Public Defender and marijuana activist is poised to become first woman to hold the position after recount put her atop Republican Matt Cardell by 6,753 votes out of roughly 8 million. Broward County. Where have I heard that before? Okay. Broward County. This would be the place they just finished the crooked recounts by Brenda Snipes, is that her name? The election commissioner that should be in prison. Okay. And Broward County. Oh, that's the Parkland school shooting. As I scratch my head on that. Parkland school shooting. She is the public defender, marijuana activist. To become the first woman. She went ahead of the Republican in the recount. The results have still been the results still have to be certified on Tuesday, but Fry tweeted Sunday afternoon about her excitement to become agriculture commissioner. Okay. She is the first Democrat in the position in 17 years and will now answer to Republican-elect Governor Ron DeSantis, and the State House and Senate both controlled by the GOP. Okay. Fry told the Miami Herald that her campaign success was because of her emphasis on the 3 W's. Her emphasis on the 3 W's. This is in Florida. Weapons, weed, water. She heavily campaigned on gun control and expanded access to medical marijuana, as well as her understanding of farming, of the farming community. In Florida, this is the takeaway, in Florida, the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services is charged with issuing concealed gun permits. Concealed gun permits will now go through this liberal Democrat from Broward County, weed, weapons, and water. This liberal Democrat from Broward County, former public defender there, not the public defender, yeah, public defender, former public defender, will now have the office that issues concealed weapons permits after a recount there. And she's from Broward County. Broward County. I think they should just go through and clean that place up. The Broward County Sheriff, the coward of the county, Brenda Snipes, elections, corruption, corruption, corruption. And Florida needs to do something about it. So I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break and we'll come right back. And we've got some more things we want to talk about on the outcome of the election on this Thanksgiving week here in LJ. That's where I'm at. Take us a break.